How we doing?
Last second coaching from Brian.
What's that?
Last second coaching from Brian Kearns.
Oh, yeah. Just reminded me. No,
my big head out of here if I get your way. Carolina. I mean, you guys know them. They know you. It's pretty much get after it, right?
Yeah. You know, it's always a tough matchup with them. Last time we played early in the season came down to the wire. They played us defensively really well. And we know, you know, going into it, they're a physical bunch in the front four. They do a great job of rushing the passer. So we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Are they one of the more physical teams you play?
Yeah, I think so. I think every time we play them, it's a really physical game. And, you know, we're going to have to live up to our end of the bargain.
For you, this past 10-day break, has it been better physically or mentally to get away? A little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think anytime you have an opportunity, especially this late in the season, to have a couple days off, just to get away from it, helps the body, helps the mind. And I think everybody feels really good.
Matt, there was a time in this organization when clinching a division, whether it was while you were watching TV at home on Sunday or on the field, would have been, you know, sort of vocal, visible celebration thing. Those days are kind of over, in a way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, you know what, it's, you never want to take it lightly because it's hard to do, but at the same time, you know, we talk all the time. This is one step in our process, and we've got, you know, a couple more stairs to climb. Hopefully, we're able to do that. But we need to focus on the next thing. When you get a goal, when you reach something, you cross it off the list and you keep going. And I think everybody, from the top down in our organization, has done a great job of that.
Matt, in 5 years, what are the lessons learned as far as the difficulty, A, of winning the division, and B, doing something in the plan?
Yeah, I think, you know, in my experience, I think the one thing you learn is it's hard to win week in and week out, regardless of whether that's regular season or postseason. It's just a difficult thing to do, so you got to enjoy them, and you got to understand what it takes to get them. And I think, you know, I've done a pretty good job of that, but as a team, we've done a really good job of that.
Compared to college, is that kind of the eye-opener about the NFL? You know, if you're good in college, you can just about predict a victory. In the NFL, it's not always that way.
Yeah, there's... you know, there's no telling. I mean, the quote, "It's any given Sunday" is true. I mean, you can toss records out. There's such parity amongst the teams in our league that every week you play, the games come down to the wire, and I think it shows in the statistics. There's some crazy percentage of games that are within one score, and even for Carolina this year, I think they've had 10 games that are within one score, won or lost, and you know, it's just a really competitive league.
When you're playing a younger team as well, a lot of young guys are playing, and let's face it, this is their Super Bowl. They're playing for their NFL lives.
Absolutely. You know, I think that's one of the things, you know, you learn as you play in this league, regardless of what a team's record is. You're going to get a good effort from them, especially against a good young football team. I think, you know, they have a lot of talent, and they play hard, and, you know, we're going to have to match that.
When you talk about divisional games, they're in a sense all physical, are they not? Absolutely.
You know, I think, you know, in the NFC South, every time you line up against one of your opponents is a physical matchup for 60 minutes. And Carolina is one of the more physical teams we play all year. I think their front four is as good as really any we go against. And they do a great job rushing the passer, but they're also stout against the run.
You guys have a pretty good chance for a home game now in the playoffs. How important is that?
You know what, it is. It's something we want to work towards, but, you know, at this point, you know, our focus has to be on just knocking one more win off this week. And, you know, eventually, when we look up maybe at the end of the season, we'll have enough to get that done, but we'll worry about it a little bit. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Matt. The second and the third quarter last week, when you guys kind of ran into the doldrums there, what do you think got you that run?
You know what, we had... we just missed on a couple of opportunities. We had some third downs where we could have converted. We fell short by a yard or two on, you know, a handful of those, and it's just the little things like that that get you into a rhythm. We weren't able to get that first down in a drive that gets you going, and we have to do a better job executing. I thought, you know, we weren't at our best in terms of execution last week.
Matt, why do you talk about winning close games. Is there anything about this team that helps it win those close games, to win 7 games without a touchdown or less?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, I think experience has a lot to do with that. I think when you have guys that have played and been in all kinds of different situations, you learn that it's going to be like that week in and week out, and you got to find ways to get it done. And I think one of the reasons we've had a lot of success this year is because we've found different ways to get it done. You know, it hasn't always shaked out the same way. It's kind of been a different person, different unit stepping up week in and week out, and that's helped.
Do you, too, can I ask you about what you see in practice from the Chris